reconnecting with you. And I'm sure you've got lots of work to do, especially with what's happening in Mauritius these days. Well, we are going to concentrate on your startup and the launch of your new innovative app. But before presenting your app, I would like to just start by presenting your startup and how did that idea come to you, what motivated you, and what is needed in Mauritius at this specific time?
Yeah, the idea came to me, it was mainly when I was always interested in positive impact, and I'm interested at looking at financial instruments, market instruments that can monetize positive impact, because I'm thinking that the world would be much of a better place if we actually could, the economy could work on just positive impact, meaning if something positive you're doing for either society or the environment, then you get paid for it. Instead of doing just products and services, having to buy the next generation phone, the next generation TV, etc., where we keep mining, we keep producing and taking all the natural resources to be able to sustain an economic model. And this interest came because I was interested also in carbon credits, how they actually created a market with carbon, which is just intangible at the time. It wasn't something we could trade, and we managed to get a market for it. And yeah, several different things, like also social impact bonds is based on the same thing, where there's some negative offsetting, what we call like the carbon, meaning one program will cause someone to save money. So they say, okay, if I do the program, you didn't save money, you need to pay me now for me to develop the program. So, and then I came across UNEP-FI, United Nations Environment Program Financial Initiative, and they published a report in 2018 about the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 of them, voted at the UN 2015. They showed that $7.5 trillion were required, these are required per year as financial resources for us to help achieve our SDGs. And astonishingly, $3.9 trillion were missing per year. That's more than 50%. So that meant, and for Africa, it was $1.5 trillion and only 0.2 trillion we had. So it's 1.4 trillion. That's like enormous.
Yeah,
and I thought that's quite weird. And then UNEP-FI also was starting working on how we can actually solve this issue of the financing gap, like they call it.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, we need to actually dig into the power of community, because people have free time, all these different untapped resources, but we can actually help doing that.
So it's quite a disruptive approach. Huh? So how are people responding to that new approach? Because it seems that you want to bring about a change of vision, a change in mindset, and also a very innovative approach in itself. So, well, do you think that Mauritius is ready for that type of project?
You see, I always mention this, that I did have a global dialogue process in 2012. It was to be able to look at the world we want. So from these processes and these groups that I participated in, and I've seen that people actually from different background, either prisoners or professionals or with kids, they all actually dream, and it was a visioning process when people had to close their eyes and think, you know, what is the world want, what do you see? And the themes were actually across all the different ages. They wanted the same type of world, which is an alternative economy, like a fairer and happy world. And I'm thinking, but all these people want the same thing. And that was very stuck with me, because I said, you know, we were so different, but at the same time, we always want the same thing. And I think this is quite true. But we all dream about this world that we want. you know, and unfortunately stuck.
Yeah, Tony, it might look a bit like a paradox, but with the COVID sanitary and economic crisis, we've seen that people want a change of model around the world. It's quite a global happening, but perhaps that's the positive side of the crisis, what I think, and many people think, that now it's perhaps time for humanity to look towards a new way of looking at its own development, its own well-being, because it's not only technology. We are going to talk about your app, but blending technology and the human aspect, and not excluding everybody. It's very all-inclusive, your project. That's what I find wonderful in it.
Yeah, I'm interested also in systems. So, and there's one author, like a colleague of mine, Dr. Bab from Barbados, and she mentioned to me that this guy, Wallerstein, he mentioned his book and about systems. I think he was known for world systems. So he mentioned that system shift, radical shift, can only happen when there is something is very disruptive. Yeah. And this is the only window of opportunity we have, because in normal time, when everything is going, business as usual, life as usual, it takes time for systems to shift. And I think we're in an amazing situation and opportunity today, after with COVID, to actually shift the system rapidly without going through all the different cycle of system change.
Yeah, a new way to do things. And I think your team, how do you choose the team? You teamed up with people coming from different horizons, different professional backgrounds. And I think what's interesting in it, it's not only for Mauritians. I think you're looking above that, beyond that, because whatever we think today, it's so we see it at all levels, that we need to think global. We think global, but at the same time, being rooted in where we are and connected to others. So, what is your target group today? Whom are you targeting within and outside the Mauritian society?
Yeah, I think the term you wanted is global. It's being like local and global. It's a global approach. So I think the tool that we are building is actually a very useful tool to accelerate and amplify impact, positive impact. And yeah, so it for whole world, because it's a tool that can help society, help the environment, because we make everything more efficient and easier to do, and reducing friction on lots of things. And I think that will really be useful to different situations than Mauritius and different countries, and it can be used anywhere. It can be scaled rolled out in different countries.
Sure.
I mean, the discussion was, do we do the beta testing internationally at like various locations around the world? And then we decided, no, let's just do what we call a proof of concept in Mauritius and try it out and see, do a bit of design thinking and use it and use it. But then we were beta testing, but we're not ready for what's happening now, because now something happened and we need to actually make it so operational that it is around the clock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are the projects that you are running today? What are the projects that you have accepted from others, and what are what is the added value of these projects to our country?
The projects that we've been looking at, obviously, first of all, because it's a voluntary platform, essentially, it's a reward system for volunteers joining the campaign using a different type of alternative economy. So what we actually looking at now are the NGOs, obviously. So because they're looking for volunteers, right? So we've been onboarding all the specific programs, but there's been initiatives, because since there's been this issue with this environmental emergency disaster of that boat with oil spill, it was sort of self-organizing structures and doing things like we used to do before with paper and pen, Google Sheets, phone calls, WhatsApp messages, Facebook pages, and still going wild.
Sure.
And then that's what we want to help doing, because we say, okay, you have 15 people trying to organize 500 volunteers for next day in a specific site.
Yep.
I mean, you can do this from your bed, lying around in 2 minutes, and just one person, and so that's the value it brings to there. But the value also it brings, all these NGOs are doing fantastic work, and I understand they're quite overwhelmed with people calling, with people who want to donate, with people who want to offer things, with people who want to do things, but it's also just one-on-one. It's getting organized, obviously, as the days go by. And now also it's a volunteering platform, and now it's changing, morphing. It's not a risk, disaster, emergency response management. Exactly. It's turning to be something like this, because it's useful
to sustain the energy. That's
and then also then they saw it as an information, like a centralization of information repository. Where now the business sector is saying, listen, we've got like 200 companies.
A bit coordinator, right? So you're going to be like coordinating the actions which are going to be in the same direction. It's a bit to harmonize, I think, the actions. Is it?
Yeah, it's harmonization, it's collaboration, because then we can see, hey, I'm doing this thing, and 3 of our initiatives are doing the same thing. Okay, who are you? What, maybe my volunteers have too many today, tomorrow you can use them, or etc. We're going to close tomorrow, and what are the protocols? Can we share best practices? And all these things on one platform. And to come back to the private sector, now we need to manage equipment.
Exactly.
So they're saying, this company wants to give 2,000 gloves, this one want to give 3,000 suits, and this one got 500 gloves that we want to donate, and the rest we need to sell. So, and then this NGO wants 5,000 gloves, and it's just crazy. So now they said, can you please look at it?
You're there to bridge between the several partners within the Mauritian economy and society. That's it?
Yes. This is the idea, but we want to use this platform for crisis management, where it's all in one place. Instead of having like 20 Facebook page, so many WhatsApp page.
Can come and they have all the
information.
It's like a tool to
one-stop shop.
One-stop shop, exactly. So you mentioned something very interesting earlier. It's the private sector. In Mauritius, we know as Mauritians that we need to have more that partnership between private and public sector, and all entities within the Mauritian society, because even individuals can at times change things. So that's a bit the nice idea about it, I think, that it's not only the government only, that it's that everybody can participate and everybody can do something at our own level. That's very nice, I think.
That's exactly it, because my family believe that everyone has got something to give. Whoever you are, as a human being, you have something to give. Sure. And we actually facilitated and to do that on our platform. And this is what we want to do. We've got bigger ideas how it's going to turn out in the future. Now we concentrate on macro, but then you can really be very micro.
When,
exactly. Whatever you have to give, you can give on this platform. Sure. I've had skills. I've had 2 hours to do some consulting. I've going to go to clean up the oil spill. I've had to cook food, deliver food. So everything you can participate, and that's one part of giving, facilitate givings for everyone. We can find things to do and to give to very easily, and we can do it and give, and at the same time feel good, etc. Because we do get a sense of purpose when we're doing something meaningful but helping others, and I think that's intrinsic to every human being.
So now there are so many indicators that say that happiness, the well-being of a society is not only on rupees, on dollars, on yen, or on franc or euros. It's to do with with the well-being, happiness, and happiness is now as an indicator of success, of sustainable development. We know that how Bhutan, they have done it, and they have been a pioneer in it. And I think that has been, well, has triggered something that's coming, bringing a new wave of around the world also. And I think that with all the problems happening, that's also helping in a positive way to bring people together and to do things together, to live together, and to develop and contribute to our own society. That's what I'm bringing that from far to come to your new app, which is also disruptive, An Angel. So why, Tony, An Angel, the name itself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, to come back to happiness, I mean, I'm very interested in happiness, and I was part of Happy Cities movement. And actually, I hang out with the mayor of Bhutan and during a conference in India earlier last year. And yeah, because I think that's the most important thing that we need to concentrate on. It's our well-being. And I think this is what the app also responds to. It's not... actually, when you talk about that, our one campaign that we decided to do for the launch, and then that got eclipsed by the oil spill, was called An Angel Day, and it's celebrated on the 20th of March, I think. It's coincide with the International Happiness Day. So for that, we said to people, adhere to the campaign, and and register and subscribe to that day, that campaign, An Angel Day, and you need to tell us on that day. You need to be conscious of being happy. And you need to send back information, what made you happy. Is it maybe for someone it's reading a book, maybe someone is going out with a family for a nice dinner, maybe some is to go to a club or whatever. So we wanted to actually understand and make people be conscious about, hey, what does it make me happy? And because it's the Angel Day, it's the International Happiness Day, let me just try to make this day where I'm very happy and everyone's happy around the world. And that's how we imagine it. And An Angel is really about happiness.
Yep.
And it's
also a way of bringing the spiritual aspect also within development and technology, because I think it's a very holistic approach, and that's very important also, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, through technology, we're building a community with values, actually. This is what we want to do. It's actually, we need to bring the values and we need to push these values through the platform, because giving already, this is a different type of frequency, but bit of quantum physics, or and you,
yeah, sure,
yeah. So it's all a bit of a magic of what we want to create. And so why an angel? I don't know why, how.
Un ange gardien peut-être pour aider.
Because people, our communication strategists, a couple of them were saying, no, an angel is like, it's got all these connotations, etc. And when I was trying to, okay, let me explain to people why I've chosen an angel. And then I just realized that actually, it wasn't a conscious decision. It's just something that
happened like this naturally.
I don't even know if it was a thought process to come to this name. I'm not sure. So I was thinking, I would say, okay, let me write about, which is also an empty section on our site now. Let's write the about. And I say, okay, I'm going to write why an angel. And I just was stuck for like 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I think personally, it's not a religious connotation. For me, when you told me an angel, I said, okay, an angel is more purity. It's a new way of doing things. It's a new start. It's a restart. It's a rebirth. And I think it's the way perhaps on that side of the things that, it's the way that it's almost an absolute utopia, For me, it's a bit like an utopia, But a utopia that you go towards, the truth, the ultimate truth you work towards. It's a quest.
Yes. I mean, that's a great thing. Thank you, Narada, for this beautiful description, And I think this is what I want people to see, what resonates. And I'm glad, but actually don't have an explanation why an angel. So that gives everyone possibility to say what that means for them and what it represents for them. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that.
It's a personal. I think it's a personal link. You relate to it the way that you come, because we come like we say de manière brute, as ourselves, you know, genuineness.
Yes.
And I think that's how we are going to relate. So explain to me how, for example, Mauritians, people abroad, the Mauritian diaspora, they are very, very keen. I'm in France, but I know that people around the world, we love, you know, following whatever is happening. We feel very concerned with what's happening, the well-being of our people in homeland. And so how are you going to, what message is that are you going to you know, to send to Mauritians within Mauritius and outside Mauritius? And everybody, human beings.
Yeah, I think just to I mean, the first thing is just that I really want people to, like many Mauritians, to support this Mauritian initiative, and I think it's great that something I can see the potential. I can see how good and how great this application can be, and I would love to have like my fellow citizens to support. You know, because we've developed this, you know, a shoestring budget, and government has helped us recently to, you know, that's been really like a great for us to be able to get some funds, but we need to carry on developing this big engine of change. And I hope, you know, to the fellow Mauritians, they can support us, how it can be, either it's, you know, sharing some skills, or, you know, either, you know, helping to get the word out, or, you know, connecting us with partners or whatever. So, but I think the support is important, because everyone, in what's so great about this app, everyone has got a place. You know, so everyone can participate, and this is you can't get more inclusive than that. You know, if you're a school dropout, you can find something to do. You don't need to have like a A-level or university to do things. And the innovative part of the platform is that we want to attach a reward to actions.